Ahead of this summer's World Cup in Russia, SportsMole previews Nigeria's hopes as the only African team to have qualified for both the 2014 and 2018 tournaments. Since first appearing at the World Cup in a blaze of color in 1994, Nigeria have made themselves a regular presence on the biggest stage. Russia 2018 will be their sixth appearance from the last 7 tournaments, and they usually make their mark in one way or another. Copyright ReutersThe names of Jay-Jay Okocha, Sunday Oliseh, Nwankwo Kanu, Taribo West, and Finidi George are etched in the history books for Nigeria due largely to their exploits at the World Cup, and the class of 2018 will be desperate to join such exalted company. Here, SportsMole assesses Nigeria's chances at this summer's tournament in Russia. Group D is one of the more intriguing prospects at this summer's World Cup, with Argentina clear favorites to claim top spot, but Croatia, Iceland and Nigeria all laying a strong claim for second place too. Nigeria can boast the best qualifying campaign out of any of the teams in the group, with Argentina and tournament debutants Iceland only sealing their place in Russia on the final match day, while Croatia needed a playoff to reach the tournament. The Super Eagles take on Croatia and Iceland in their opening 2 matches, and they will hope that positive results in those will take some of the pressure off their closing contest with Lionel Messi's Argentina. Nigeria fixtures: June 16, Croatia vs. Nigeria 8 p.m., Kaliningrad Stadium, Kaliningrad. June 22, Nigeria vs. Iceland 4 p.m., Volgograd Arena, Volgograd. June 26, Nigeria vs. Argentina 7 p.m., Krestovsky Stadium, St. Petersburg. How they qualified: Nigeria were one of only 2 African nations to go through their qualifying campaign unbeaten, and they were the first to seal their place on the plane to Russia. The Super Eagles began with a 2-0 aggregate victory over Swaziland to make it through to the group stages, where they were drawn alongside Zambia, Algeria and Cameroon, the latter 2 of whom both qualified for the 2010 and 2014 World Cups. Copyright Reuters. However, Nigeria quickly established their dominance by winning their opening 3 games by 9-2 aggregate scoreline, including a 4-0 drubbing of Cameroon in September 2017. Indeed, Nigeria dropped only 4 points from their 6 outings, eventually securing their place at the tournament with a game to spare courtesy of a 1-0 win over Zambia, becoming the only African nation to have reached both the 2014 and 2018 World Cups. Recent form Nigeria were left to rue a slow start in their 2-1 loss to England at the start of the month, with their improved display after the restart seeing them pull 1 back but not a second at Wembley Stadium. That was followed up by a 1-0 reverse against Czech Republic 4 days later, making it 3 defeats in their last 4 matches heading into the tournament. Copyright Reuters. The biggest positive for Nigeria from their pre-World Cup outings is that Leicester City midfielder Wilfred Ndidi was able to get some minutes under his belt following a couple of months on the sidelines. Salisu Yusuf may be a little concerned about the lack of momentum his side have built up, though, having failed to win any of their last 4 matches since back-to-back wins over Argentina and Poland in November and March respectively. Squad goalkeepers: Francis Uzoho, Deportivo La Coruña; Ikechukwu Ezenwa, Enyimba, Daniel Ekpeyi, Shepe United. Defenders: William Troost-Ekong and Abdullahi Shehu, Bursaspor; Tyrone Abayehi, Benfica; Elderson Achejale, Cercle Brugge KSV; Brian Idowu, Omkar Perm; Chidozie Awaziam, Porto; Leon Balogun, Brighton; Kenneth Omero, Chelsea. Midfielders: Mikel John Obi, Tianjin Teda; Ogenye Onazi, Trabzonspor; Wilfred Ndidi, Leicester City; Agenakaro Idibo, CD Firenze; John Ogu, Hapoel Beersheva; Joel Obi, Torino, Italy. Forwards: Ahmed Musa, Kelechi Iheanacho, both Leicester City; Victor Moses, Chelsea; Odion Ialo, Changchun Yatai; Alex Iwobi, Arsenal; Simeon Nwankwo, Crotone. Star player: John Obi Mikel. Copyright Reuters. His best years may now be behind him, having spent the past year and a half playing for Chinese club Tianjin Teda, but John Obi Mikel's influence on this Nigeria side cannot be overlooked. At 31 years old, Mikel still has enough in the tank to drive his side forward and, as captain, will lead from the front at his second World Cup finals. After being ruled out of South Africa 2010 through injury, the long-serving Chelsea midfielder produced a couple of standout displays in Brazil last time around as Nigeria reached the knockout stage for the first time since 1998. Mikel has slipped behind Victor Oliseh as the most recognizable face in the side, and there is plenty of Premier League-level quality in attack, yet his ability to get the Super Eagles going marks the skipper down as the key man in the side. Manager, Gernot Rohr. Copyright Reuters. After a long-serving stint as a Bordeaux player, Gernot Rohr began his managerial career with the French club and helped them to the final of the UEFA Cup in 1996. Spells in France, Switzerland and Tunisia followed, but since 2010 the German has established himself as one of the most experienced managers in African football. Appointed Gabon head coach in 2010, Rohr spent 2 years in that job before taking over Niger for a similar time, resigning in October 2014. Next was a short-lived spell in charge of Burkina Faso in 2015 before the 64-year-old was appointed Nigeria boss in August 2016, going on to lead them to the World Cup as the first African nation to qualify. World Cup record: best finish, last 16, 1994, 1998, 2014. Copyright Reuters. Nigeria burst onto the World Cup scene as debutants in 1994 with a 3-0 win over Bulgaria in their opening match, and they went on to finish above Bulgaria, Argentina and Greece to top that group. A brace from Roberto Baggio saw Italy come from behind to beat Nigeria after extra time in the last 16, though, and heartbreak at that stage has become a familiar theme of the World Cup for the Super Eagles since. 4 years later they once again topped their group before losing to Denmark in the round of 16, and in Brazil 4 years ago it was France who ended their run after they had finished behind Argentina in the groups. Argentina have been regular foes for Nigeria in the World Cup, remarkably being drawn in the same group as each other in 5 of Nigeria's 6 appearances at the tournament. The Super Eagles have only failed to qualify once since their debut in 1994, the 2006 tournament in Germany, but they were knocked out in the group stages in 2002 and 2010. Overall, Nigeria have played 18 World Cup matches, winning 5. Drawing 3 and losing 10 whilst scoring 20 goals and conceding 26. Predictio: Nigeria will not go into their group as one of the favorites to progress, but we are backing them to upset the odds and beat Croatia to second place behind Argentina. The chances of them making it any further than the last 16 look slim, though. They would likely run into France in the first knockout round unless Blues would surely be a challenge too big for them.